Hello crafters, it's me, Chris from Crafts with Chris, and I want to thank you guys so much for either placing an order on my online shop and using the current host code, or just buying the packet outright from me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. So this is the Hey Chick card class, and with this one you don't need the Hey Chick stamp set, but it is a good companion to make these cards. So you're going to get all the materials to make your cards. So you will receive a packet. You should receive a packet in the mail just like this with all your materials, all your stuff to make your cards. And inside your packet will be a PDF that will tell you about all the measurements and everything that is used in the making of these cards. So, and it will have the order numbers and the prices, so if you wanted to order anything, it'll be there. So I'm going to start with our first card. The first card we're going to make is this card right here. So we're going to take out our materials. I'm just going to make one so you guys can see. You're going to get, like I said, 3 different designs and 2 cards each. So with this one, we're going to need our ribbon. So you'll have enough ribbon in there. You need 2 strips of that ribbon. You'll need a piece of the chicken wire, and then we're going to need a small square or rectangle, and then one of the larger rectangles. So I'm just going to set the rest of this stuff aside. Colors today that I'm using will be Bermuda Bay and Memento to do our stamping. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to do our stamping first. So I'm going to take our 2 pieces here. This guy's going to, we're going to stamp this way with it. So I'm going to use the Memento to do our stamping. In this set, you have this chicken here. We're going to take that chicken and we're going to stamp that with our Memento. You're going to stamp this guy right at the very bottom. Just like that. Then in this set, you'll see this little egg with the feet sticking out. We're going to stamp him or her. And I'm going to stamp it so that it looks like it's stepping on this chicken's back. So when you do this stamping, for me, I've got to like get down and look at it level to see where my feet are going to stamp. So I'm just going to stamp this right in the middle. Just like that. So it looks like that egg is standing on the back of that chicken. So then you're going to ink that up one more time, and now we're going to stamp this chicken again on top of the egg again, so he's standing. And I kind of tilted him. You could do it straight, whatever way you want to do, but again, I kind of get down and at level with the stamp so I can see where the feet are going to land. Just like that. Isn't that cute? So, and then we're done with the Memento for this particular card. So in that set, there are 3 different sentiments. Hey chick, you're a good egg. Have a happy day. Any one of them can be used. I'm using you're a good egg. And then I'm going to ink that up with Bermuda Bay ink. And then on this little guy here, I'm going to stamp that right in the center. And just when you guys get your stitches, which I should have told you first, your stitch shape, there's 2 different sides to it. So you can tell which side is the front. So just make sure your the stitching is on the right side. So I'm just going to put this right in the middle. Just like that. And then we are done with our stamping. So I'm just going to bring in my Stampin' Right markers. I have Real Red and I have Pumpkin Pie. You can use any kind of coloring tool you have. You could use your ink pads too to do this. I'm just putting a touch of red on the chicken here, on his comb, just to give it a little bit of color. And then I'm taking the orange, pumpkin pie, I'm sorry, and I'm just going to color the feet in of the chickens. and then the beak, and that's it. So now we're just going to start to assemble the card. And in your packet, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you guys, you're going to need one of those pieces of Whisper Whites. That's going to go on the inside of your card. So I'm just going to take my bone folder, give it a fold, and then I'm going to take, and I'm using Stampin' Seal. You can use any kind of adhesive you have. And then this is just going to go right on the inside of this card. And then the outside of the card is going to lay this way. So the first thing we're going to do is put our ribbon on. And again, you guys, I forgot to tell you guys, inside your card packet, you'll find 4 sheets of the designer series paper that's free this month. You just need, we're just going to use one for this card, but they're the same. They're the Bermuda Bay and then the Rococo Rose on the one side. So we're using one of these for this card, and we're going to use the Bermuda Bay side. And I like the lighter part of it. If you have, you know, how it goes from light to dark here. I'm going to put the lighter part up towards the top of my card. But before we do that, I'm going to put this pretty ribbon on. So my trick, of course, to do that is I just like to take a strip of adhesive. You could also use Scotch tape. So if you don't want to do the adhesive, you would just wrap your ribbon around and then put a piece of Scotch tape on it instead of doing the line of adhesive. I just find this is easier. So I'm going to flip this around. This piece is going to go about 1/4 of an inch down or so. And you're just going to wrap those ends around. And then the same thing with this piece. This is going to layer at the bottom, and it's going to go closer to the bottom. So there's only maybe 3 inches or so down there, 2.5. Just like that. And then this is going to, I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive on here, another strip or 2. And then this will now go right on the front of your card. So it'll look like this. So now you have this piece here. And what we're going to do is this is going to lay right here. And then we're not going to put any glue on that. What we're going to do is we're going to use this piece here. And I'm going to put adhesive on here. Again, Stampin' Seal or whatever kind of adhesive you want to use. I'm going to use a little bit more than I normally would just because of that piece we're going to lay on here. So this was cut out of one of the dies that coordinates, and it was cut out of our foil paper. So I'm just going to line that up to where I want it. Stop sticking to my fingers. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay this right over the top. And then the adhesive from this will hold this down. So you don't have to worry about getting all kinds of glue on there. So there's that. And then to finish this off, what I did was I took this little piece and I'm going to pop this off up here on the bottom. So I'm just going to use a couple of Stampin' Up! Dimensionals on here. This will go popped up right, not really in the center, but off to the side a little bit. Just like that. And then in your packet of goodies here, your smaller packet, there are some rhinestones. So we just want to take those rhinestones out. I'm just going to dump all this stuff here and push it to the side until we need it. So in here, you'll see your little rhinestones that you have. So you're going to want to take 3 of those. Now, I like to use my Take-A-Pick tool. Your bone folder will work too to get these off. And these are just going to go right on this bottom corner here. And you're just going to put 3 of them down there. So you'll have enough to do your 2 cards. So that's it to card number 1. Super cute. So card number 2 will be this card here. So in your packet, you'll find a piece of Misty Moonlight. That's going to be your card base. And then you're going to find some pieces of Whisper White with rounded corners. So we're going to use those. One of those will be layered on the inside, and one we're going to do on the outside for our stamping. So let's go ahead and put our, fold our card base in half and put the one on the inside. And I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal again. And the corners were rounded by the Trio Punch. So this will go right on the inside. Just like that. And this card's going to lay this way. So I'm going to set that aside because we're going to bring in our piece of Whisper White with the rounded edges. 2 colors I'm using on this one are Tuxedo Black and Misty Moonlight. So let's go ahead, and in your packet you have these corn stalks. So you're going to need 1 on each side. And then you have these pieces of corn and the Granny Apple Green. This is going to go just like that. So with these, we used our adhesive sheets. So you guys don't have to worry about putting any adhesive on these to apply these. So there's adhesive sheets on the back of your corn stalk. So the first thing we're going to do is take our pieces of corn, and we're going to peel off the back of your corn husk here. And you're going to put your corn right on your husk. Just like that. Isn't that cute? So you're going to do that with your, you're going to need 3 pieces of corn for each stalk. So for this one, I'm going to assemble the 6 pieces of corn together, if that makes sense. So we're going to just go ahead, get all these assembled. I'm going to flip them over so that adhesive doesn't stick anywhere. So again, just peel the back off of here. And then take your corn. You'll see there's a meteor side, and then it kind of comes to a point. I put the meteor side down on the corn husk and just stick it down like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and assemble these off camera. So if you want to pause the video while you get yours assembled and then resume. So now my little piece of corn are all assembled here. So on the back of the corn, you're going to have that sheeting again. You can peel that off. If you don't have fingernails, you can use your Take-A-Pick tool or something sharp to peel that off. So once you have that peeled off, on your corn stalk, you're going to see open gaps. There's 3 open gaps. That's for your pieces of corn. So I'm just going to stick them in those open gaps. And it is a little bit of a pain to get these pieces of paper off, but I think it's better than trying to put glue on there, because the glue can get messy. So we're going to stick that there. And then this one sticks down here. So you see that your corn stalk should look similar to this. So then on the back of the corn stalk, you're just going to take this paper off. And you're going to stick this in either the right hand bottom corner or the left hand, because they're each going to get a corn stalk. So I put that one there, and then I'll work on this one, and that'll go in the other corner. And on my first card, when I showed you guys the example card. I actually use garden green, in case you guys were wondering why it's different. I used garden green on that one, and then I liked the shaded spruce look better. So that's what I gave you guys. So then we have this last corn going here. I did use, when I was making the cards, I used liquid mono glue. And the glue got a little messy. So I really like this method much better. And then this is going to go over here in this corner. Just like that. Isn't that cute? So now what I'm going to do, now that I have them in the corner, I'm going to bring in my memento. And I'm going to take this chick out of the set, and we're going to stamp that right here in the middle. So I'm just going to ink that up with the memento. And then this is going to get stamped right here. And I'm bringing in Misty Moonlight. And you want to go ahead and take out one of these sentiments out of here. I'm using Have a Happy Day. And I'm going to ink that up with the Misty Moonlight. And then I'm going to ink or stamp that right down on the bottom there. And that's it for our stamping. So I've got my Stampin' Right markers again. I have Real Red this time in Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to take the Real Red and color in the chicken's little comb here. And then the Misty Moonlight, I'm just going to color the whole chicken in, except for the tail and the head and its wing. And I'm just using the Misty Moonlight, the Stampin' Right blend, the Stampin' Right marker to color in my chicken. And again, if you guys don't have the Stampin' Right markers, you can use an ink pad, or you could just leave the chicken uncolored, whatever you want to do with it. I chose to color it just so that it matches the card base. But you guys may not even have the Hey Chick set, and you may be doing something totally different. So that's all I did for that. And then in your set, you will have this cute little barn, or chicken coop, I should say. So that I'm going to use, I'll use my liquid glue. You could also use your snail adhesive, or your Stampin' Seal, I'm sorry. Snail adhesive was our old glue that we used to have. So I'm just going to put that on there. And then I'm going to pick this up without getting any glue on my hands. And this is going to go right above my chicken. Just like that. And then this is going to get glued right to the front. Again, I'm using my Stampin' Seal. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that right on there. And then this is going to go right here, just like that. And that's it to card number 2. So the last card we're making is this one here. I think this one is my favorite out of the 3. So in your card packet, you will have a piece of Pool Party. And this is our card base. And then you're going to have a scalloped piece of Pool Party. And then a piece of Very Vanilla cut out in a circle with our layering dies. And then another piece of Very Vanilla, which will be layered on the inside. And then you have the piece that I was talking about earlier. We're going to use the Rococo Rose side for this card. And you're going to have ribbon. So you need 2 pieces of this sheer Bermuda Bay ribbon, and then a piece of this very vanilla ribbon here. So we're going to put our inside of our card together first. So again, let's just go ahead and give that a good fold. And then I'm using my Stampin' Seal to apply that on the inside. And then this is going to be layered on the outside of this card. But before we do that, we're going to apply the ribbon to this. So on here, again, I'm going to put the lighter side up towards the top of my card. So the darker side is going to get the ribbon. So I just flipped it over, put some adhesive back there. The first piece of ribbon we're going to do is your Very Vanilla. It's going to go towards the bottom of your card, or your card base there of this paper here, about 3 to 4 inches up. So I'm just going to layer that down. I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal again, and I'm going to put some more adhesive over that ribbon. Then I'm going to take this piece of sheer ribbon, and I'm going to lay that right on top of that Very Vanilla ribbon. And then I'm going to just finish it up with some more adhesive so we can layer that right on the front of our card. It'll look like this. And then you have another piece of that sheer ribbon. So what you want to do is you want to slide this under both of those pieces of ribbon and then just tie this into a knot. And then I'm just going to center that knot. You can move your knot over into the center. Whoops. Right there in the center. Give it a good tug so it's nice and taut. And then I'm going to take my paper snips, my scissors, and just kind of cut it off at an angle. So it looks like that. And then on here, we're going to just do some stamping. So I'm going to take that out. We're going to need the Bermuda Bay ink again and your memento. So I'm going to take my memento first, and we're going to use this chicken with the wild hairdo. And we're going to just go ahead and stamp that off to the right-hand side of this circle. Just like that. And then we're done with the memento. So in that set, one of these sentiments, I'm using Hey Chick. I'm going to use Bermuda Bay ink for that. I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp the Hey Chick right next to the chicken. So now I'm just going to take the Bermuda Bay Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to color in this chicken's tail feathers and its feathers on top of its head. And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal. This is going to go on this scallop circle here. And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal again. This is going to go right in the center of this card. Right up towards the top a bit. And then in your packet, you have these 3 white heart embellishments. So these are going to go right, I'm going to put one in the center, and then one's going to go on this side, and one will go on this side. Just like that. Isn't that cute? There are the cards for the Hey Chick card class. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed making these cards with me today.